Swell. It's an old one.
Well, Darrell, obviously one game can be a fluke, 2 games you can be a little bit lucky, but it looks like you kind of really found something in the bow. Just what you thought over the last 3 weeks with him, what he brings to the offense, and maybe how you can sustain this.
Yeah, I really like what we've seen from him. I think the first thing is the physical presence that he brings. He's a downhill runner. You can see him breaking tackles at the first level, breaking tackles at the second level. He can finish the run, and kind of have that punishing style. So I think he's just kind of brought a little bit of the the mentality that we're looking for. The blue collar guy. The physical punishing style that that you'd like to play in this division.
I think we see this happen all the time in the NFL, but weird, I guess, from a guy from Alabama, maybe a little more than us. How's a guy like that slip through so many cracks to get to you?
Well, I mean, I know he's been had a couple stops, and but I think right now I just give credit to our scouting department and bringing him in and giving us a chance to take a look at him. I mean, we worked him out, and then we were able to bring him back in here and kind of stick him on the practice squad and see how it worked. And we have a couple guys that we've been working with, but I think it's just I don't know, this one time it's fitting right now.
We got Bortega Hawkinson going on IR. What do you think of his rookie year? Obviously the big opener, maybe a little less production. What would you think of his year one production?
Yeah, I mean, I think TJ did a good job for us, and there's a lot to learn, as a rookie coming in, and I thought he fit in well. Number one with the room, I think he's the guys all got together pretty well in that room. I thought he picked up the offense well, and he gave us some plays. I still think we as we talked about with him, just the consistency, the level that we know that we can expect week in and week out from him, and he'll continue to get better and be an important part of what we're doing.
So I guess what is that next step? With him going into year two, how does he get to that step where he is more consistent in what he does?
Well, I mean, when you have opportunities, you have to be able to make your plays. You have to, hit your assignments, do the right things. And that's not to say, that he wasn't doing that, but, on a consistent level, being able to know what we're going to get out of him. And then obviously it's my job to help get him involved and be able to get him the ball more and involved in the offense in terms of receiving. But then, the tight ends do a lot of stuff, and, they're in different spots, and, they're part of the run game as well, and, has to be able to do well there.
So I guess maybe to that end, how big is it for him to have an offseason in the offseason program, weightlifting, all that kind of stuff, just to maybe build up some strength?
Yeah, I think it'll be huge. I think that's I mean, it's a different game when you come here to the NFL, and I thought he handled it well. It was never too big for him. He was never bright-eyed and surprised by anything. I thought he handled his rookie season well, but in terms of the development that you can make from year one to year two, I think he has an opportunity to make a big jump there.
You guys have had a lot of success with first quarter scoring. I think you're third in the NFL, but through the second through the fourth quarter, it just hasn't been as successful. Do you have a sense for why it's been difficult to sustain your hot starts through the course of the season?
Well, I just think we have to this last game was a great example. I mean, we are our first drive and we score. We go our second drive and we score, and then the next two drives are 3 and outs. Really kind of self-inflicted wounds. We get the first play, we get a false start out of after the scoring 2 touchdowns, and just making too many mistakes and things that are hurting ourselves. That's one of the things that I hit with the guys this morning, because it's the first time we got an opportunity to review that, and there's so many opportunities for us to be able to make plays, and when we get those opportunities, we have to make them, and we just haven't quite got over that hump yet. Between penalties and we had 7 penalties as an offense. We had 4 drop footballs as an offense, so there's opportunities in there that we got to continue to get better at. We talk about finishing all the time, and that's something that we're not doing well.
How much of that success is within the scripted plays? I don't know, I think at some point earlier this offseason you said you like to come up with maybe 15 plays. I think how much does the offense, I guess, start sputtering after getting out of the script?
Yeah, I think at times we've had. I mean, the first 15, or whatever, has been good at times. We've come out of half, I know, and we scored at times coming out of half, but it's just been too hit and miss, too inconsistent. I think this last game was probably one of the most 3 and outs that we've had. I think we had 5 in that last game. which we've kind of done pretty well in that of not having 3 and outs, but just being able to sustain the drives, not get penalties, I think is really kind of the big factor for us. The 15 script's been has been good, and I mean there's plenty of scoring after that has taken place, but it's. I mean, right now we're at that point. We just don't have a lot of room for error, and there's we're making just a few too many mistakes that we just can't get ourselves over that hump.
Kind of a difficult spot, obviously, for Blau. You guys have been at Thanksgiving, the
Right.
first career game. How do you think he handled the challenge of that?
Yeah, I thought he handled it well. I mean, one thing about it is it would have been his first opportunity to work with the number 1 offense, for a whole week. Well, the whole week's a walkthrough,
Yeah, right.
So we're going through the plays before the game, and he's like, "Well, I haven't really worked that one full speed yet." And I said, "You haven't worked any of these full speed yet, So for the first time he was able to go out there, I thought he really did a nice job for himself. He saw things pretty well. He was able to move around, extend some plays in the pocket. He handled the run game, so it was a good start for him.
How does Stafford been? I mean, this is going to be difficult for him, never playing. But
Right.
It seems like he's kind of taken the mentality of being a coach with some of these other quarterbacks.
I think he's done a great job. I go all the way back to when we first started in the spring. And him being here with the off-season stuff that he had going on. Was really committed to the team. But I think he's also been now that he's had this injury and it's kind of pushed him back again. He's been here all the time. He's been in the quarterback room, going through the same preparations to like if he was playing, but then helping those younger guys. I think if you ask Jeff and Dave, I mean, they both tell you, how helpful he's been. He's in their ear on the sideline. He's looking through the pictures with them, giving them, even extra coaching points, and he's doing a really good job staying engaged.
Feels like it's been a long time since you've been coaching a team that's been out of it this early. Just wondering, does anything change for you in terms of testing out player development or maybe even like play development in these situations, or is it business as usual in every regard?
Well, I think we're trying to always do those things. I think we're always trying to continue to develop our players. We're always trying to continue to develop the offense. I think you probably see new things every now and then out there, and just trying to continue to get better. My whole focus is this offense and trying to make it as productive as offense as we can, score as many points as we can. I tell our guys every time. I mean, our job is to go out there and score every time we get the ball, and that's what we're working toward, and that's what our goal is right now.
Just to go to Stafford for a second, is there something that he can provide to the team while he's still on the roster rather than if the team had put him on IR in the NFL rules?
Well, as far as the rules go, I don't know. I would have to defer that part of the question to somebody else. But just as part of him being around, there's he does a lot of great things for us and being involved. I mean, he's a leader on this team. People listen to him. People respect his opinion. He's got so much experience out there, and so he's an extra set of eyes for the quarterback. He's helping prepare those guys in the room. And I think sometimes when you go on IR, you're kind of okay. I'm done. And you really step away, and almost those guys we don't see anymore, and that has not been the case at all. Obviously, he's still on the roster, but he's totally engaged. He's totally into it, and he's doing a great job of helping everybody around him.
Obviously, he is helping everybody. He's been a great teammate, but is he a address to you the extent of just how much this is killing him? I mean, this is a guy that loves to play.
Oh, it's killing him. Yeah, no question, it's killing him. I mean, it's what he does. I mean, he loves to play football, and if he gets a chance to be out there, he wants to be out there. And I think every time something happens, he's feeling like he's as a competitive player, he knows that, or he feels like that he could help the team, and he wants to help the team, and all the competitive juices get flowing, and he's missing it.
Matt likes to say, he was dependent on himself. We need to coach better in terms of just not getting over the hump. If there's an element of your own, self-evaluation of where maybe you come up short this year, is there an area you wish you were better at or have been better at?
Well, I mean, when we don't score, I evaluate at the end of every game. I evaluate all the play calls. I evaluate, every drive. What part of what could I have done better to help us to put us in a better situation or not? Was that the right call? What would I have done different? And try to make myself better for the next time I get that opportunity.
With TJ down now, 3 times he probably would have hoped for when he signed here. Is this an opportunity for him to kind of get more involved in that element of the offense?
Well, I do need to say that, in my mind, I thought Jesse really the last 2 weeks has done a really nice job. We've kind of challenged him a little bit, particularly in terms of the run game, what we're asking him to do. And, go back and look at this last game. I thought he did a really nice job on the edge, blocking for us in the run game. And, one of the techniques that we use, probably the best one that he's had for the whole year. So he's continuing to work. He's continuing to get better. When anybody goes down, it's going to up your opportunities, and so he's going to get an opportunity here. Him and Logan, and probably Isaac as well. And so we'll have to move some of those plays around, and they'll all get more opportunities.
I was going to extend on that a little bit with Isaac. Obviously, he's been playing a little more that fullback role to
Right.
kind of fill that gap. Just given the depth and injury situation, I know you're not making the roster decisions, but do you want to kind of get him more in that a tight end role now that there is, I guess, some more opportunity there?
Well, he has never really left the role, so he's still kind of in that role as a third tight end, kind of RU, and then that you can go and play the fullback, but you have to decide, is TJ that guy, and we've settled on that Isaac could do that. So I think you can see him in the backfield. I think you can see him up on the line with those guys as well. So we'll start now that he was the fourth guy, so now he's the third guy. So that will that'll up probably some of his opportunities.
Taylor Decker has kind of strung together a good month of play. I'm just curious as to your evaluation of what he's doing good.
Yeah, this is my first year with him, and I've been impressed with him as a leader. I think he's done a really good job in the room with the offensive line. Kind of being a little bit more vocal guy. Obviously, I wasn't here last year, but just from what I'm hearing, I really like the way he's accepted his role in there, and then his play. I just think the guys have done a really nice job up front. We've played some really salty fronts. And, I don't even want to say it before we get ready to play Minnesota because we got another salty front coming up. But, to go in there and play as well as they did against, 94 and 52, Khalil and Floyd and those guys and other games back, I think those guys are doing a good job. It speaks to Decker as well. I mean, he's doing a good job protecting us on the edge. And, I think those five guys have been really working well together. I think we're getting better in the run game. You can see that the last few weeks, with Bo and with them. And, it's coming along.